Hey guys, Coach Brandon here, and we are back with another member question. So if you don't know, this is where a member inside of my free Skool community asks a question, I answer it, and then I decide, hey, this would make a really good video. So today's topic is going to be why, if you're doing anything other than full body training in the gym 2 to 3 times a week, you're probably wasting your time and you could be doing it better. So let's dive in, let's see the question, and let's figure out why I said what I said. But before we dive in, remember, in 2025, I lost over 75 pounds. I went from 257 pounds to about 180 pounds in 2025. And to date, I've lost 84 pounds with my lowest weigh-in at 173. We've made some incredible progress. I've got the education and the experience to back up what I'm about to say. So let's dive right in. Arm insights. What is your favorite arm exercise right now? Biceps or triceps? Why that one? Do you train shoulders with arms or keep them separate? Can you do pull-ups? Can you do a handstand? Do you think it's possible to train arms and shoulders to do a handstand better? Well, right off the bat, I can do pull-ups and I can do a handstand. And I'm pretty good at handstand walks. Working on the static handstand, it's more of a struggle. But back to the story. Why am I sitting here saying that full body training 2 to 3 times a week is the way to go for 99% of the population? You may not like this, but the number one reason is you are simply not qualified to do anything else. In order to justify any other split other than a full body, you have to have 2 things. You have to have the requisite skill, so you have to be an efficient mover. You have to be skilled in the movements. You have to be skilled with the squat. You have to be skilled with upper body pulling. You have to have the skills that take years to develop and you haven't earned it. Second, even with the skills, you have to have the requisite strength. You have to be strong enough to justify anything else besides a full body split. Now, why? Why does that matter? Why do you have to have the requisite skill and the requisite strength? Well, strength is a function of your brain's ability, your nervous system's ability to activate and utilize the muscles, okay? So I'm going to explain that a little bit different. The stronger you are, the more neuromuscularly efficient you are. Strength is not necessarily a function of muscle size, but it's a function of how efficiently your brain can activate that muscle. And what is your brain and your nervous system? It is electrical by nature. And so just like an incandescent light bulb, when we turn it on, the filament burns. It gets hot. It glows. And so as you train, as you do resistance training, as you squat, as you do pull-ups, etc., your nervous system burns hot. Well, the more skilled you are and the stronger you are, the hotter it burns. But if you're not skilled, if you're new, and you are not strong, it doesn't burn very hot. You actually can't make it burn very hot. And so think about it this way. When we put an iron in the fire, the hotter it gets, the longer it takes to cool off, right? But because you're new to this, you don't have the requisite skill and you don't have the requisite strength, your iron's not getting very hot. It doesn't need a long period of time to cool off. You don't need to train arms on Monday and then wait again until Monday to train because you don't have the skill set or the strength required to justify a 7-day rest period before you train arms again. You really just need like a day for your muscles to recover because your nervous system is fine. Your nervous system recovers fast because, again, you haven't been going to the gym for 15, 20 years and built up the skills and the strength to justify any other type of split. I told you, a lot of you guys weren't going to like that, and that's totally okay. Let's dive in to the next reason why it also doesn't make sense for 99% of people to do anything other than a full body split. The rest of the reasons come down to compliance and practicality. My entire approach with myself and with all of my clients and everybody I talk to is let's make it practical. Let's go after the lowest hanging fruit because we want to make it sustainable. We want things to work out long term. I don't want to just achieve the results over here and then rebound and yo-yo for the rest of my life and struggle and deal with the guilt and the shame and all of that. No, I want to achieve the results over here and then keep them forever until I am no longer on this earth, right? Like, let's optimize for longevity. Let's optimize for sustainability. Let's make this thing real and long term. Okay? So compliance and practicality have everything to do with why full body also makes the most sense for 99% of the population. First, it's the highest return on investment activity for people with busy lives. Most people don't go to the gym for 3 to 4 hours a day. They barely are able to fit it in with their busy lives. They have jobs, kids, spouses, social lives. The gym is not a luxury that they have. And a lot of people don't even like going to the gym. They feel good about it. They feel good after it. It brings joy and happiness as a result, but it takes effort to get there. And so what I want to do is I want to maximize and optimize people's time spent in the gym, right? Let's make it a high return on investment activity. Let's minimize the amount of time. What's the minimum effective dose, right? So with this structure, we can get in and out in 45 to 60 minutes. So let me explain exactly what the structure is. In 45 to 60 minutes, we're going to run through this structure 2 to 3 times a week. We start out with a generic warm-up. So we hop on the treadmill, the bike, the elliptical, the stairs for 10 minutes. Then we do activation. Activation is just simple movements designed at waking up some of those harder to hit areas for what we are training that day. So let's say we're doing squats. So I might do some hip activation. I might do some glute activation. Examples could be dead bugs, bird dogs, sitting in the bottom of a squat, whatever the case may be, some ankle mobility. We're just gonna run through a few exercises in like a superset or a giant set as our activation. Then we do lower body strength. That could be a squat, that could be a deadlift, that could be a lunge. Then we're gonna go into upper body strength. We're gonna superset it. We're gonna do upper body pulling and upper body pushing. Simple examples: pull up, push up. Obviously there's a wide variety. We've got vertical pulling, vertical pushing, horizontal pulling, horizontal pushing. We've got different grips, stances, variations, all that. But upper body pulling, upper body pushing, superset. Then finally, last working piece is going to be accessory work. Accessory work serves a couple different functions. This is where we're going to target core. This is where we're going to target breathing. We want to be intentional about making sure our cardio and stuff is rocking and rolling. And this is where we are going to target our deficiencies, right? So the things that we come in, let's say we come in with some shoulder issues. Let's say we have bad hip mobility. Let's say we've got some issues with our ankles. This is where we are going to design and engineer our program to also improve those things. And then finally, what I really like to include in that is external rotation stuff. So this range of motion, this sort of thing. People struggle with external rotation in their shoulders. A lot of people have really bad shoulder health. A lot of people can't put their arms overhead without their rib cage coming sky high, right? They just don't have good shoulder mobility. And as we get older, it gets worse and worse. In that accessory section, we are focusing on 4 things: core, shoulders, existing issues, and breathing. And then we'll close it out with like a generic cool down, like 5 minutes on the treadmill or as much as you please. And that's 45 to 60 minutes. And then we vary it session to session. So if Monday we do horizontal pulling, Wednesday we might do vertical pulling. And then Friday we might go back to horizontal pulling, but then change the grip. An example, we're gonna do some sort of pulling on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Monday, I do neutral grip pull-ups, okay? Shoulder width, neutral grip. On Wednesday, I'm gonna do TRX rows, okay, with my feet elevated. So I went from vertical pulling on Monday to horizontal pulling on Wednesday. Well, on Friday, I'm actually gonna go back to vertical pulling, but now I'm gonna do ultra wide grip pronated pull-ups. And so there's good variation from day to day. And again, it's the same skeleton Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, okay? So it's the highest ROI activity. Second, back to practicality and compliance, people feel like it works. When Susie comes in and you have Susie doing bicep curls and bent over rows, this actually goes back to the requisite strength and skill set. She leaves the gym wondering why she's paying you for the workout. Yeah, it was fun to talk. Yeah, I feel good because I came into the gym. but I don't really feel like I got a good workout. I'm not breathing hard, my muscles aren't sore. And so part of compliance and long-term sustainability is just the effects and the feeling. It's psychology. Does it feel like a good workout? And if it doesn't, the people are way less likely to stick to it. So full body workouts typically have a better result psychologically because they feel like they worked harder. It's just the way it is. And so engineering your sessions around that, again, makes the most sense because we want long-term compliance. If Susie comes into the gym and she works out for 3 months and then she leaves, but she was 100 pounds overweight, Susie didn't lose 100 pounds in 3 months, guys. Susie's gonna lose 100 pounds over the next 2 years. 1 year, if she's really solid, if she just like dives in and loves it. But realistically, 100 pounds, the next 2 years. I need Susie to come in for the next 2 years. I need Susie to be balled in for the next 2 years. And then third, again, compliance. We've already talked about the gym is hard for most people, right? Those of us that love it, that won't miss a day without it, that's not the majority of the population, right? And so when you do anything other than a full body split, what do you do when you skip a day? So outside of going on vacation, let's just say Susie doesn't feel good. And she comes into the gym on Monday. She works with me Monday, Wednesday, Friday. She comes in Monday. Tuesday, she's starting to go downhill a little bit. Wednesday, she wakes up and she cancels her session with me. Well, Monday we were doing back and buys. Wednesday we were doing like chest and tries. And Friday we were doing squats. Well, she came in Monday. She canceled Wednesday, but she was feeling good on Friday, so she came in. But because of the split, we don't train chest and tries again until the next Wednesday, which means the last time we trained it was 14 days ago. So there's 14 days between the last time and the next time we hit chest and tries. And that doesn't make sense, guys. We can go 4 to 7 days and not lose a ton of progress, but 14 days, what are we doing? And especially because these people, again, they don't have the requisite skill. Every time they come in, we're working with them on skill acquisition. Let's do this better. We need repeated patterns, repeated efforts, right? It's volume accumulation. It is just reps after reps after reps to get better at the skill. Well, when Susie doesn't do a bench press or doesn't do some sort of press, chest and tries for 14 days, do you think she's going to maintain her progress she's made? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The skills have gone out the window. I've seen this many a times. Think about like Christmas break, when people go on vacation and they don't come into the gym for 3 weeks. Even people that are super fit and jacked, I have seen, they just simply don't have the skills required to maintain that skill set, to maintain that movement pattern from November to January when they took a hiatus. So Susie definitely can't. So when we do full body on Monday, full body on Wednesday, full body on Friday, now, instead of 14 days between training chest, we trained it on Monday and we trained it on Friday. Not 14 days, not even 7. Monday to Friday. So it just makes a lot more sense. Guys, it's really simple. I'm not anti bro split. I'm not anti anything else. But A, you have to earn it. If you don't have the requisite skill and you don't have the requisite strength, it doesn't make sense. And then if you're not a gym bro, if you're not a gym rat, if you are not just simply addicted to working out all day, every day, it also doesn't make sense. And I'll end with this. Guys, I still use the full body split. My training on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday follows that skeleton exactly. And I am confident that I probably squat more than you, that I can probably do more pull-ups than you, and I probably am fitter and look better than you. Now, of course, that may not be true. You might squat more than me. You might do more pull-ups than me. You might look better than me, but that's not the majority. And so, I rest my case. Hey guys, if you like this video and you like this format, you can actually have any of your questions answered exactly like this. All you have to do is scan the QR code or click the link in the description and join my free community. So I have a community hosted on the Skool platform where all of my members free and my one-on-one clients are all a part, and they can ask questions to me directly. And inside of the community, I will take the time to answer your questions incredibly detailed and in depth. And if it warrants a video, I will record a video just like this, pop it on YouTube, answer the question directly, but really go into a deep dive, detailed answer to your question. So if you like that, if you have questions about weight loss, lifestyle, mindset, finances, anything that I talk about, anything that you're struggling with, pop in, join the community. Like I said, it's completely free, and ask away. We also do a bunch of other things like daily audits, updates. We have a wins page, announcements. So it's really just an awesome place to join others on the same journey that you're on, right? I've done this journey myself. There's plenty of others alongside of you that are on similar journeys, and building that support system, that community, whether it's in person or virtual, is super, super vital. So like I said, you can scan the QR code or click the link in the description if that sounds like a good fit. And again, it is free. I will see you next time, guys.